All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar training on doing business with transit authorities. We are so excited to have this training today. I am Jill Nagy Reynolds, and I am with the SBA Columbus District Office, and I'm also part of the Ohio Business Matchmaker Committee. This is the 17th year, I believe, for the Ohio Business Matchmaker, and we've just turned the calendar into April. So we're getting there. The matchmaker this year is April 23rd and 24th at the Nutter Center in Dayton. So if you haven't already checked out the website, please do so. And if you haven't considered registering, definitely consider it because in addition to the great presenters that we have today, just teaching you about how to do business with their agencies, they will also be in person at the matchmaker. So that will be an opportunity for you to get in front of them and find out how opportunities with their agencies fit in with the capabilities of your business. That's what this is all about. So we just a couple of housekeeping things. If you have questions, please write them into the chat. I'll be monitoring the chat throughout the presentations, and I will ask our speakers I try not to cut them off mid-sentence, so I'll try and find a good time to ask them the question. Our number one question from attendees is usually if the slides will be available. The intent is yes, the slides will be available on the Ohio Business Matchmaker website in about 24 hours, as will a recording of this webinar training. So this is actually our fourth week of webinar trainings. So if you missed any of the trainings that we did in the prior weeks, you can go back to the Ohio Business Matchmaker and access them, as well as register for the webinar trainings that we have over the next couple of weeks if you would like to participate. So if you are not presenting currently, and just make sure that your cameras are off and your video is off as well. So without further ado, I am going to introduce my colleague, Joey Scott. He's with the Ohio Apex Accelerator. He's the statewide program manager, and he is going to teach you about Apex accelerators. Thank you, Joey.
You, Jim. Really excited to be here this morning with all of you. Like Jill said, I'm Joey Scott. I'm the statewide director for Apex Accelerator program. Hopefully everybody is familiar with it, but if not, I'll give you a brief little overview here. And just before I dive in again, these webinars and the matchmaker, it's a wonderfully collaborative effort, right? And we really enjoy our partnership with Jill and the SBA team, with the small business development centers and everybody else that's involved in bringing the matchmaker and these webinars to fruition. So, as I said, if you're not familiar with Apex, we are funded in part by the Department of Defense and the state of Ohio to help businesses with all things government contracting. So I like to put our services into three buckets: becoming procurement ready, experiencing procurement success, and staying in the government marketplace. So on the front end, it's all about helping companies position themselves for success. So we can help you with some very simple things, such as getting registered to do business with the federal, state, or local governments. If you're selling to the federal government, you want to be registered in the system for award management. If you're selling to the state of Ohio, it's Ohio Buys. Some of these local entities may have their own supplier registrations or portals, which you'll hear today if they do or not. And it's important to structure your approach to each individual buyer, and that's why we're doing a lot of these how to do business with webinars ahead of the matchmaker, so that you understand what the agencies are buying and how they buy. And Apex Accelerator can help you dive into that research a bit more as well. We can also help you refine your capability statement. There was a webinar a few weeks ago on perfecting your capability statement, but your Apex Accelerator can help you with that more one-on-one as well. We host a lot of networking matchmaker events like this, webinar trainings. We also have our bid match program that brings opportunities to your inbox each day, and all of our services are free and confidential as well. So the second bucket here, procurement success. helping you review opportunities. The only thing we cannot do is write a proposal on your behalf. We are not an agent of your company, so we can't write that proposal. However, we can critique your proposal and review it with you to make sure it's as competitive and as responsive as possible. We can also talk strategy with helping you leverage one win into multiple wins. And then our kind of catch-all staying in procurement category here, helping you understand compliance items such as renewing your SAM registration annually if you are trying to sell to the federal government, uh, to more complex things such as cybersecurity, especially if you're looking to sell to the Department of Defense. They have evolving cybersecurity requirements. We can also help you look at other agency customers, again, at all levels, federal, state, and local. And also look at innovation opportunities, helping you explore small business innovation research program and tech transfer programs and just about any other innovation opportunities that may interest you. We provide lots of trainings with some focus on the topics you see here: foreign ownership, control, and influence, cybersecurity, innovation, and some of the niche programs within the Department of Defense. But we have the core mission of helping you through all things government contracting. Here in Ohio, we like to innovate, so we developed a partnership with the Ohio Procurement Internship Program, which is a program designed to train undergraduate college students on all things government contracting, and then they apply that knowledge in a summer internship for 12 weeks, full-time, with Ohio small businesses. We just wrapped up applications for this year's cohort, so be on the lookout for next year if you are interested in being part of that program. Again, some incentive to the companies beyond just getting a skilled intern for 12 weeks is companies also get reimbursed partial wages. It's actually 60%. And I need to update some of these slides as well. But I was trying to build this in here to provide more background info. The other program we have is Ohio Cyber Secure. That is partnership with Department of Development as well to provide free cybersecurity assistance to Ohio small businesses. So more information to come on that. Actually, next week, there'll be a webinar highlighting this program. But just to give you a little insight into it, it is a program designed to give you free cybersecurity assistance in preparing your cybersecurity structure within your business. So if that's of interest to you, please reach out and we'll help you get connected. As part of that program, we also collaborate with the Ohio Cybersecurity for Small Business pilot that's housed within the Ohio State University. So flying through that because I don't want to steal the thunder for next week. But long story short, Apex Accelerators, we are here. We are your ally in all things government contracting, and we are here every step of the way. So we're also very proud of our clients. Last year, our clients won over $1.6 billion in contracts, most of which were prime federal contracts. So really proud of our clients. And last but not least, always like to end with saying there is an Apex Accelerator near you. So whether you're in Ohio or you are outside of the state, please reach out. We'll get you connected with your local Apex counselor. So with that, Jill, I thank you for letting me steal a few minutes here this morning. I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Joey. And what I want everyone to take away from today is that there is assistance in doing business with the government, free assistance. So always reach out either to your Apex office, Apex Accelerator office, the SBA office. We are really here to assist you because sometimes government contracting can feel like a journey without a destination. And if you don't feel that way, then you haven't been doing it long enough, is what I say. But kind of the origin for today's webinar, and I'm so excited because we've never had any of these presenters for the Ohio Business Matchmaker. We really took a look at prior years and where we can improve. And definitely one of the areas is introducing small businesses to our wonderful transit authorities throughout the state because business is business to us. You know, if you're out there and you're getting business with any level of government, that is a definite success in our eyes. And we wanted you to understand all of the different options in terms of government contracting. It's not just federal, not just state, not just city, not just county, but it's also municipality. It's transit authorities, all of that. So today we have three different transit authority agencies. So you are first going to hear from the Central Ohio Transit Authority, Monroe Welburn. I'm really excited to hear his presentation today. And that will be followed by Tara Walker, who is with the Cincinnati Metro, Southwest Ohio Transit Authority. And we're going to end with the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority with Noah Greer. So everybody get on their learning caps because Monroe, why don't you go ahead and turn on your camera and your audio, and I will share my screen so that your presentation comes up. And if you could actually hang on just a moment, let me get you up here. Okay. Looks like I will start with it. See if I can get with this one and close that out. Hang on. I am so sorry. Everybody has to see my email, but I am trying to get to my, no, you can't see it. There we go. Monroe, can you see your presentation?
Yeah,
Except
I can
it's
see it.
not like full screen. What's going on with that? I don't like that version. Hang on. It worked during the practice, everybody.
It did.
We're getting there. How about now?
There we go. That
Okay,
works.
let's see. Okay. Is that
That
the full
works.
screen?
Yep, I can see it.
And Joey, I can't see the chat. If you can kind of monitor the chat, please.
Keep an eye on it.
Thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my video and audio off.
Well, good morning, everybody. As Jill said, my name is Monroe Wellborn. I am the procurement administrator for construction services here at the Central Ohio Transit Authority, COTA. We are Columbus's primary source for public transit. Um, we've got a lot of good things going on. We're building 5 new corridors for bus rapid transit. We're going to be in line for a lot of construction, and there'll be tons of work going on as we put our best foot forward to expedite transportation and get some of these cars off the road here in Central Ohio, which will definitely relieve some of the bottleneck when it comes to um, getting in and out of the city. Next slide, please, Jill. In doing business with COTA, the first thing we'd ask is that you register in our portal. It's through B2G now. As you can see, the front page, when you go to cota.dbesystem.com, you'll go to that link, and that first slide there, that's what you'll see. Once you get there, you'll go to, you'll scroll down and you'll start to register yourself as a vendor. Next slide. And what I'm doing is I'm taking you to the prompts. This is the next screen you'll see. That highlighted section there is apply for registration. Once you apply for registration, one of the beauties of being in our vendor system is that no matter what solicitation we put out, you'll automatically be notified, whether it's construction, whether it's IT, whether it's janitorial, no matter what it looks like. Once you are registered in our database, you will automatically be notified to any business that COTA will be doing and any contract opportunities that'll be out there. Next. Um, Once you've registered, you'll create your username, your password, and you'll log yourself in. Next. Here's the next screen you'll see. These are all the questions that you'll answer along the way. Next. Back up one. There we go. So this should be the last screen that you see. Again, what you've done is just put your company into the portal. You finished up with all the questions. It is imperative that you answer all the questions that may come up to you. Um, this guarantees that you'll receive those notifications about all the business that COTA will be presenting in the near future. Next. So, in conclusion, you'll be registered. Like I said, you'll be notified. Um, like I said, anytime we put out a solicitation, your team will get a notice. One of the things that I always like to say to people in this situation is that even if your company isn't the primary company, try to find yourself some networking opportunities in the region. One of the things that we've learned is that a lot of our bigger subs and bigger primes, they are quick to subcontract out a lot of work to smaller agencies. You would definitely do your business and your organization uh, a great service by getting more familiar, getting your name out there, and even being able to partner with some of these bigger primes and subs as they put their solicitations in and their proposals in to try to get work that COTA is offering. Um, we do ask for DBE certifications. You can be certified. COTA doesn't certify. However, through ODOT, you can go through ODOT and get yourself certified as a DBE. You won't be marginalized or disqualified if you're not a DBE, but it definitely enhances your opportunity to get jobs and be awarded solicitations. So that's pretty much the sum of what it looks like in terms of doing business with COTA. In the event that you'd like to reach out or contact me in any way, shape, or form, I'll have Jill provide my information in the chat. And again, I wish you all the best of luck, and I hope to see you doing business with COTA sometime soon. Thank you.
And you know what? I had the honor of meeting you last week for an event that we had at the state library, and you did go into a lot of detail about some of the things that COTA is currently purchasing. You mentioned that a levee passed in Columbus, and that COTA is going to be
Yes.
building additional 9 miles of a bus route for express bus. Is that correct? I
Yes,
may
we've
not
got
have worded it correctly, but
no, those are the bus rapid transit.
bus rapid
It'll
transit. Okay.
Yeah, it'll function a lot like the train does in a lot of cities, except for we're going to operate that with the buses as opposed to with the train. We're literally in the beginning of Corridor 1, which is the West Broad corridor. It runs 9.5 miles from the far west end of Columbus into downtown Columbus. Our second corridor has been solicited, um, and that's the East Main. So that'll take you out east. So we'll have east and west covered, and we hope to start getting solicitation information out for our third corridor, which will run you northwest into the city of Dublin.
So, do businesses have to be located in central, like Columbus, to do business with COTA?
No, in theory, you would like for everybody to be local, but in a very expansive world that we live in, technology makes it possible for us to do business anywhere. You don't have to be local. Again, obviously, it would help everybody to some degree if you were, but that doesn't stop us in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, it's not even a disclaimer that we would put with our solicitations that you have to be local. So, yeah, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you're qualified and certified, you can definitely do business with the transit authority here.
And to see opportunities, would they go through the same portal where they register to become a vendor? Do they have to be a vendor in order to see opportunities with COTA?
Well, yes, if you go back to slide 3, right there, that one. So that's the second screen you see. Once you get to this screen here, You're either staff login or vendor login. You can see right underneath there. And if you're a vendor, you just log in. You can see any and all opportunities that we have available out there. I believe it's the second box down where it says bid opportunities. You can go there and you can see anything that's being solicited currently.
Very good. And will you be at the matchmaker? Oh, no,
Oh,
actually
I'm
you
sorry.
won't. Yes, that's
I'll be
right.
at
I've asked you
uh,
like every time I see
yeah,
you, I ask you if you're gonna, but you could not this year, but you will be,
yeah, I will
hopefully in
be
future
for
years.
future years, but this particular year I'll be at a training conference and I won't be able to attend. Actually, I come back the morning of the 24th. So, well, I don't know if time permits itself. I'll come down briefly, but you won't see a lot of me during that 2-day event.
No, that makes see, I totally understand. Yeah, like coming out of travel to run over to Dayton. Uh,
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, I understand. And actually, I can see the chat. I see, well, we have access to the slides. Yes, you will have access to the slides in about 24 hours. If you go to the Ohio Business Matchmaker website, it's in the chat, and you click on webinars, you will see like the recordings from all of our prior webinars in the slides that we currently have there. So it's taking about 24 hours. If we don't receive the slides from the presenters right away, it takes us a little bit of time. But does anybody have any other questions for Monroe this morning? All right, I don't see anything, so I'm going to go ahead and hit stop share. Thank you so much, Monroe. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I will now introduce Tara Walker. Tara is with the Cincinnati Metro Southwest Ohio Transit Authority. Very happy to have you here today. Thank you, Tara.
I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Make sure you guys can see it. Okay, does it look like a normal PowerPoint?
It does. Yep.
Okay, perfect. My name is Tara Walker, and I am with Cincinnati Metro. You'll have to excuse my voice. I'm fighting the flu, so if it starts to crack, I'm sorry. So I am the Senior Manager of Vendor Diversity and Inclusion. We'll give you a little bit of information about Cincinnati Metro. We are the fixed route bus service in Hamilton County with commuter routes from Claremont, Butler, and Warren counties into Cincinnati. We had approximately 60 million in local projects in 2024. And we're in receipt of more than 200 million in federal grant awards for multiple projects, including transit centers and bus rapid transit. So that translates to a lot of opportunities for small businesses. So just kind of a look at our numbers. We actually we try to get participation by small businesses on all of our contracts, whether it's federally funded or locally funded. We've made a lot of progress over the course of the past 6 years, where we started in 2019 at $72,000 in small business spend. We were also kind of broke at that point. So, in 2019, we started at 72,000. Last year, we awarded more than 8.7 million in small business contracts. And you can see that we had 72 small business contracts. So it's over 11,000% increase since 2019. And last year alone, we awarded a $36 million contract for our bus rapid transit design. And we set a goal on that one that was federally funded, and we got 4.6 million of that contract that was subcontracted to DBEs. So over 20 million spent with small businesses since 2019. Okay. So we have a supplier diversity program. It's our policy that disadvantaged businesses have an equal opportunity to participate in the performance of all contracts. So we have two program types, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, the DBE program. which is federally mandated, and then a small and disadvantaged business enterprise program, which is for local funds, and it's kind of supplemental to the DBE program. But again, participation is encouraged on all contracts, regardless of funding source. So our small and disadvantaged business enterprise program, it's for locally funded projects only. It's a little more flexible than federally funded projects. We still compete everything. Competitive procurement procedures still apply. We still have to abide by Ohio Revised Code. Participation is encouraged through contract goals and extra points in proposal evaluations. There's a wider variety of contracts. It's not just construction. So what do we buy? Everything. We buy everything. Promotional items, IT equipment, plumbing services, architectural and engineering services. We buy everything, and a lot of small businesses actually do win these projects. 2 years ago, we had, which is current, and a task order contract for electrical services that was over $2 million awarded to a woman-owned business here locally. So, we do make an effort to use small businesses whenever practical. And we don't just limit it to local or just DVEs. We'll accept other third-party certifications as well. So our disadvantaged business enterprise program, the Department of Transportation created the DBE program to ensure non-discrimination in the award of DOT assisted contracts. And as a condition of receiving DOT funds, Metro is required to administer a DBE program and create an overall agency goal. So FTA requires recipients of DOT funding to submit an updated DBE goal every 3 years. And our current overall agency goal is 8.5% for federal fiscal years 24 through 26. We have an overall agency goal of both federal and non-federal of 15%. But again, that's for local funds. So some opportunities for construction in our federally funded projects. We have 8 anticipated projects, over $500 million total. Projects will be awarded over the next 3 to 5 fiscal years. They're mostly construction related, bus rapid transit, 3 transit centers. We've got some in Walnut Hills, Uptown, North College Hill. Industries include contractors, multiple subcontracting disciplines like electrical, paving, steel, etc. These projects are in the planning phase right now, and goals will be established on projects with subcontracting opportunities. Okay, so our bus rapid transit, we just named it Metro Rapid. So it's 17 miles of dedicated bus lanes on Reading and Hamilton Avenue. Construction related opportunities, again, concrete, electrical, paving. There's lots and lots of stuff that a subcontractor could do. We will set DBE goals for subcontracts. That means that when we set a goal, only DBE certifications will count toward the fulfillment of that goal that the prime contractor is required to fulfill. So if you do not have a DBE certification, I highly recommend contacting the Ohio Department of Transportation because we use their directory when we set our goals. So again, this is estimated to be over $300 million, millions and millions of dollars worth of subcontracting opportunities. So we've got some software portals. The main one is our e-procurement software, OpenGov. We use a web-based electronic bidding system, OpenGov, to procure items and services. Users can access, respond, and ask questions via the OpenGov portal. You have to register to bid and receive notifications and to have full access to solicitation documents. To begin registration, you go-metro.com and navigate to the doing business page or scan the QR code on the screen. You can also access other entities' procurements in addition to Metro, so you just have to subscribe to others. It's, it's not just exclusive to Metro, other government entities are involved as well. And signing up is free and easy. Just as a note, you can see current opportunities on our webpage, but you have to sign up to see actual details. Okay, and just a little tidbit here. We offer trainings and events, so if you're interested, if you can contact me. We do a lot of kind of fun trainings with ice cream socials, and we pair with ODOT and the city of Cincinnati, SBA, to provide these resources, and all of our events are free. Right, and for more information, just contact me at twalker@go-metro.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tara. I appreciate it. And just like meeting Monroe last week, it was a pleasure to meet you in person. And I'm really excited for the opportunities that Cincinnati Metro currently has, and hopefully our small businesses will take note and just check out the website, find out where they fit in. So I appreciate it very much. And you will be at the Matchmaker, correct?
I will.
All right. Very good. Very good. Does anyone have any questions for Tara? Just please put them in the chat if you do. And while we're transitioning, to see if there's any additional questions, I'll go ahead and introduce Noah Greer. Noah is with the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority. So we're hitting some of the big cities here in Ohio. And just as a note, we will also have not the Transit Authority from Cleveland. We will have the Cleveland Airport at the actual Matchmaker, which is pretty cool. Charles Francis would like to know where to sign up with Tara, and where do we find opportunities to do business? It's on the website, correct? You want to show that slide again, maybe?
So actually, I can go to our webpage so you can see where to go. I'll share my screen real quick. Can you guys see our website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you go to go-metro.com and you go to about doing business,
It's go dash, I'm going to put it in the chat.
you can go to our bid opportunities page.
You're stuck. Okay, there it is. Okay, never mind.
And you can see all of our open, well, you can see closed ones too. But you should be able to filter it and see all of our stuff here.
Now I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Monroe. Do you have to be located in Cincinnati to do business with Metro?
No, you do not. We encourage participation wherever you're at, small businesses in general, we support you. So no, you don't have to be local. But if you want to sign up to get started, you click right here and it will, well, it'll take you to OpenGov. I was worried it was going to sign me in.
All right, thank you. Does that answer your question, Shanae? And Francis, I'm not sure if that's your first name. I'm thinking it probably is. Hopefully that did answer your question. Yes. Okay, cool. Very good. Thank you, Tara. And I don't see any further questions now. Okay, yes, he answered it. Noah, if you can go ahead and turn your camera on, and we will get started with the Greater Dayton RTA. Thank you so much. And you are muted. Oh, your first name is Francis. Thank you.
All right, I'll present
Gotcha. Very
this
good.
share. All right,
Yep, full screen. You're good.
okay. All right, I'm Noah Greer. I'm a senior purchasing agent at Greater Dayton RTA, and we serve the Greater Dayton region for transit, paratransit. So we have fixed route and paratransit, and connect services as well. Our sort of goals for the procurement and how we serve the Greater Dayton RTA mission is providing goods and services. And that's so we can serve our local region and also regions beyond. One of our sort of goals is providing full and open competition. And that's sort of different than a lot of private agencies, but it's the same as COTA and Metro, is that we have on a sort of 3 to 5 year schedule, we have open procurements, and we also use OpenGov, the same as Metro. So when you sign up with them, you can also sign up and subscribe to us. Our main goal in procurement is providing stewardship to our for our agency assets and utilizing the life cycle of products and services. And then any organization, to answer your question from before, can do business with Greater Dayton RTA. And that involves submitting offers via OpenGov. And we do have some sole source contracts as well that we would approach you about. What RTA buys, similar to these other agencies, RTA buys everything to keep the organization running, bus parts, buses, administrative supplies, administrative services, equipment, stuff like that. And here's a few list of things that are upcoming: diesel fuel, overhead line, and materials. And we're also having some construction projects coming up where there will be DBE requirements, where a certain percentage of the project will need to go to a DBE vendor. So oftentimes, if the prime contractor is not DBE, they will have DBE subcontractors. We also have pest control, uniforms, landscaping, various projects to keep to keep things going. When we buy, I sort of mentioned it before, but most of our recurring contracts are on a 3 to 5 year schedule. This does not really include construction. Construction sort of comes up when the projects are happening and they end when they end. But goods and services are on a 3 to 5 year schedule, and that includes technology contracts. And when we go over these, we review the cost effectiveness, and most of them are awarded by the low bid, but we also have our RFPs where more criteria is evaluated. So that provides an opportunity for more technical agencies to be awarded, or organizations to be awarded. Here's a slight overview of our procurement schedule. These are some of the projects upcoming in the next 1 to 2 years. We have our HVAC maintenance contract coming up, our paratransit garage construction, phone system replacement, trolley carbon inserts. That's just that is one of those that is recurring for our overhead lines, power washing, and bus stop shelter cleaning and trash removal. And there are many more. I thought I'd give you a slight overview. How RTA buys, similar to Metro. We use OpenGov, and that can be found at, so our main page is the Doing Business with RTA page, and our OpenGov portal can be found on that page. That's I write RTA, About, and then Doing Business can be navigated to from the main page. This is what it looks like. This screenshot down here is what it looks like. So there's information on how to sign up as an actual vendor and get registered in there. So the link below that is OpenGov's description on how vendors are able to sign up. So if you need a little more information on how to register as a vendor, you can look at that. And then to subscribe to our procurement page to get notifications about any procurement that is released, you can go to our portal. Yes. Yes. Yep, there's a picture of the OpenGov site. So this portal is right below on the I write RTA page, or on the Doing Business page. This portal is right below all that information. And you can see our open procurements. Also, if you sort, just like Metro, you can see our closed procurements to get an idea of when new procurements may be coming up. You would add 3 to 5 years and we'll probably be doing it again. And one note that I wanted to mention is that when registering as a vendor, going back, when we do our vendor lists, when we create our vendor lists, if you're not subscribed to our page, you may not get a notification. But one way to ensure you get a notification for your project or services or goods you provide, be sure to put NAICS codes. That's what we use to sort our projects, and you may show up in the search, and any certifications or classifications you have, such as DBE, small business, minority business, and women owned. We don't currently have programs for minority owned and women owned. We don't have programs for, but that doesn't mean we won't in the future. Right now, we only currently have programs for small business and DBEs, and that's the ODOT certified DBEs. As you're going through the vendor registration, you'll see where to put your classifications and NAICS codes. If you don't, you can give me an email and I'll have contacts at the end. Going briefly over our DBE program, I think I talked about it when I mentioned construction. A lot of our construction projects and some other consulting and design projects, we have DBEs, a DBE requirement where DBEs, where we allow for DBE subcontractors. Mind you, DBEs can be, we encourage DBE participation in any procurement, but those are ones where we have set aside allotted for subcontractors. So if we have a construction project up on our OpenGov page, there's a good chance vendors who are following that project or interested in bidding, say they come to one of our pre-bid meetings, they may want DBE participation, and you might be able to actually partner with them on a bid. Then each year, similar to Metro, we have some small business set aside using local funds. We have around one or two each year for procurements where we often have many small businesses wanting to participate. And that's like administrative supplies, many consulting projects, power washing, landscaping, grounds type work, design, and concrete and construction, as I said. Those are the most common where we have small business set-asides. But if you're interested in being included on any of those projects, you can contact us at our emails. I think they're on the next slide. Yes. So this is our team. over at RTA. We have Michelle is here with us actually. We have our 2 senior purchasing agents. We work on some of the larger procurement projects like construction, and then we have Angelique Carey, who helps us with a lot of our smaller purchases. And then Deborah Howard is our director. But you contact any of us and we can add you to our site. We can invite you, or we can answer any questions you may need. Questions?
Thank you, Noah. I appreciate it. I love how each presentation was different. I think that's great. We actually had an event last week. It was a panel discussion, and one of the things that I heard all three of you mention was subcontracting. Is there a way for small businesses to find out who the primes are with your agency, or do you have pre-bid meetings, or what's a way for them to start doing that market research?
So yeah, we do have pre-bid meetings, and that's often where we found DBE contractors show up, say they do a portion of a construction project. We're bidding an entire construction project. Say they only do concrete or something like that. They can easily contact one of the primes at the pre-bid meeting, but also we often publish on past contracts. We publish vendors who have participated in the past, and we often get a lot of the same primes. We have a lot of different contractors winning the bids, but a lot of the same vendors submit bids, so they can potentially partner with vendors that way by looking at our OpenGov site, looking at past construction procurements. But then you can also attend the pre-bids.
Are those
Also,
published on that Gov site you mentioned? Do they have to be registered as vendors to see like when the pre-bid meetings are?
yeah, to see the procurement documents. I believe you can see them without being registered. You may have to be registered though. I would just register, and then you can see. I think that you have to be registered to actually see what's in there, what's in, so that the procurement timeline, the scope of work, everything like that, you need to be registered. But to see the general procurement, what I just showed you on the, here, let's see, to see this, you don't have to be registered. But to view the scopes
Okay.
of work and everything, I believe you have to be registered in
And then to
OpenGov.
see like also past awards, like if they're looking for prime contractors, like you'd have to be registered, because Shanae mentioned pre-bid meetings, but she also asked how else can we find prime contractors? And then you mentioned being able to see past awards to see like
Yes.
if,
So
okay.
in here, I think Metro showed it for a second. You can sort by active or closed contracts, and if we have any older construction contracts, you will be able to see primes that have bid before, and they may not be bidding on the contract you're interested in, or they may be. If our procurement, another way that I was going to say was, if our procurement department knows there are primes looking for DBEs, if you reach out, we will help them navigate to the ODOT website. But then if we already know your names, we might let them know about other that you're interested in bidding on this as well. So sort of being
Present.
exactly, and even commenting, emailing us, saying you're interested, looking for, we might be able to pair you up with a potential another bidder.
And how you get to know them is them attending like networking events, filling out the registration with Dayton RTA. Like that's another thing that I learned from last week. This event, the event that we had, is being present, sending either a representative from your company, if you can, because it's impossible for small businesses to go to all of the networking events all the time. But if you make that a part of your market research plan as businesses, and if you have someone that you can send to represent the company, it's also very good because the more that you're able to get yourself out there and your company capabilities out there, the more the agencies are going to know about you. Um, so that was my two
Yeah.
cents. So, Brandon Turner, glad to see you on the webinar. He is actually met him a couple weeks ago. He came to the district office, but he's doing he's different types of consulting. Do you have like NAICS codes and consulting, like particular types of consulting that you look for that you know? Or like would it be construction management or is it HR, like whatever he's wanting to know what types of consulting that maybe Dayton RTA purchases.
Yeah, I know consulting can be very broad.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it is.
let's see.
And you're also going to be at the matchmaker.
Yes,
And
yes.
and I'll tell all of you when you register for the matchmaker, you have to put in NAICS codes. So the buyer has to put in NAICS codes. So the buyer meaning the transit authorities, the federal agencies, the state agencies, they have to put in NAICS codes that what they're looking for. And when you register for the matchmaker, you also have to put, you as the business have to put in NAICS codes, and that's how you get matched for those meetings, the scheduled meetings for the matchmaker. There's also unscheduled meetings, but the scheduled meetings are based on those NAICS codes you put in.
Yeah. Regarding the consulting, including like other, like, I don't know if you would consider our like A&E, design, surveying, uh, are often consultants we hire, if you would consider those consultants. I think in some ways they are. We don't often do business or administrative or organizational consultants, but with our often a lot of our consulting contracts, I think the third party claims management might also be one of them. Uh, they're often recurring, so you will see past ones on there. If you are interested in, or if you have a set of or expertise that you work in, we can also let you know if we would be doing business in that area or not. It can be a wide field, so it's hard to say for certain because our needs do change at times. But yeah, I guess that's the best answer I got.
No, that's and it because consulting does have a broad definition, and but I think you helped narrow it down because it sounded like more in the construction related with surveying and
Mhm.
so forth. So Shanae, if is asking if we're already certified, is there any way of getting connected?
Certified as a DBE
DBE, I think that's what she's asking.
to get connected with Prime or us.
Shanae, if you could expand on that a little bit. Here's how I'm interpreting. Oh, she's saying both. Okay, so uh, outside of, is there anything additional for specifically to DBE, or does Dayton RTA just have the networking events that are open to everyone?
Us anything specific to DBE contractors. Many of our projects are open to everyone. So like our pre-bids, and that's probably most where there would be networking happening. And that's happened with some of our construction contracts. That's honestly probably the best way. However, for our construction projects, there will be vendor followers, and we often keep those on our open construction solicitations. We'll keep those vendor followers on, and you could reach out to those agencies. You should be able to see them through OpenGov to the vendors that are following that project. In terms of working with us, OpenGov is probably the best way. Registering on there. All of our open solicitations are on there.
If I'm yeah, it just sounds like once you register on the OpenGov, like you'll get access to a lot of the things that we're talking about right now. I'm not sure. We got a question in the Q&A. Babaya, I'm not sure what you're asking there. So interested employee benefits, who the primes are. We've been discussing how to find the primes with the Dayton RTA, but I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you can please expand.
Joe, if I may just jump in while
Sure.
they are elaborating more. Just to clarify, so when you are working with the primes, what we're talking about is subcontracting, right? So you have your business and you have a contractual agreement with another business who is the prime. They are the award winner on the contract itself. They are subcontracting. They are essentially outsourcing a small piece of that larger contract to you. That is what we mean by subcontracting. That's what we mean by doing business with the primes. And I believe we have a couple webinars later in the series that'll look at teaming arrangements and things of that nature. But to that question, if you are specifically looking at job opportunities for individuals, that is far outside of the scope of this webinar or a lot of these resources. That would be going through a company career portal and things of that nature. So I just wanted to clarify that and level set for everybody. When we're talking about working with the primes, it's usually as a subcontractor on a larger contract.
As a business, correct. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. And thank you, Joey, for mentioning that, because next week we do have 2 webinar trainings. I believe they're next week, and I should have had the list ready to go. But we do have a webinar training on teaming arrangements and joint venture agreements. I think that is on April 16th in the morning, and in the afternoon, we have a training on the SBA Mentor Protege program. Both of those trainings have panels with successful small businesses that are in with the morning training in joint venture agreements, and then the afternoon training in mentor protege agreements. So definitely tune into those if you are looking to, as Joey mentioned, like if you're looking as a small business owner to partner in a subcontracting relationship with a prime contractor. So wonderful. We will not keep you. I appreciate everyone's insight for today. Now, does anyone else have any questions for our transit authorities? And if you do end up having other questions later, you can send me an email and I will make sure to get the questions to them. Okay, so Babaya said working with a broker that offers medical, dental, vision, voluntary benefits. That is mostly like in terms of government agencies. That's done like at the HR level with those government agencies. If you send me your email, that one's a tough one in government contracting. Babaya, if you can just shoot me an email with the information you're looking for, then I will respond back to you. I'm putting my email in the chat. Okay, does anyone else have any questions?
Joe,
All
I
right,
have a
thank you, Noah.
question.
Yeah, sure.
If we could just ask kind of the general panel. I know we talked about opportunities, but what are some of the pitfalls or common challenges you have working with small businesses?
Monroe, did you want to jump in on that? Because you provided some really good insight during the panel.
Sure. Well, there's really not a lot of downside. I would say, just for small businesses, please just make sure that you take the time to maximize your exposure and your potential by getting certifications. A lot of times, what we have is there's a lot of communication as to how do we get in, and then a lot of the process isn't completed, um, and then you'll run into roadblocks and hurdles. The other thing that we've ran into is where we literally just went through this recently, where we had an um, a company that does electric work. They literally, I don't know how they managed to do it, but they mishandled their money and went out of business while we are in the middle of a very big renovation at one of our transit facilities. So just taking care of your internal processes, making sure that your payroll is good, making sure in the event that these are PW jobs, prevailing wage, that you have all the necessary abilities and capabilities to pay the prevailing wage once you've been getting paid by the primes. Um, Again, there's no downside at this point. I haven't run into anything where there's pitfalls in terms of, oh my God, like this is such a headache or a hassle. Not at all. That's not the case. We just want to make sure that you do everything necessary to cover yourselves on the back end so that you can maximize your opportunities.
Very good. Thank you. Noah, Tara, or he covered it all. No.
So in my experience, I don't think there's anything that a small business does that is like, a problem with just small businesses. One of the tips I have, or just a few tips, make sure you read the instructions in the solicitation document. That's something we run into with every business that submits a proposal or a bid. Um, don't wait till the last minute to submit a proposal or a bid. I don't have any issues with small businesses at all, really. I think they provide excellent customer service and oftentimes do better than our large businesses we do business with. Um, Make sure you don't undercut yourself. That would be one of my biggest pieces of advice, because you don't want to lose money on this. So make sure that when you do this, it's not going to hurt you. So yeah, that's just some of my advice, but otherwise I don't see any problems.
Another one of the things when I'm working with firms that at the federal level is also prepare for your success, because with when it comes to federal contracts, the size of the contract, it can be pretty large. Like sometimes we'll have firms that are and I work primarily with firms that are in the 8A program, but a lot of times they think, oh, wow, I just need this $5 million contract. Well, yes, but do you have the ability to scale up when you receive that contract? So Monroe gave the example of running out of funding or not, you just say mid-contract. So one of the things that SBA does is really tries to help businesses be able to scale up, whether it's through funding, through assistance with the small business development centers. Like you gotta plan, like how are you going to obtain more employees? How are you going to be able to get the materials and the labor you need to support contracts of that size? So plan long term, I think, is really important. And that will be evident, when you're out at the pre-bid meetings and you're meeting people, that, hey, here's here are my capabilities. Here's how we will scale up. You would have to put that in the proposal, but those are things that when you hear the dollar amount of a contract, it's just easy to be caught up in the thought of being able to perform a large contract. There's the devil's in the details in terms of how you're planning it, and you definitely still want to make money on the project. You don't want to leave the project and lose money, because that is not the goal. Noah, did you want to add anything to that, or you were all right?
I sorry, I agree with what they've said so far. And
Cool.
my main thing is letting us know you're out there. Um, we, as we design our small business set-asides, we take a look at the vendors in our system. We take a look at who's in there to decide which projects we want to set aside. So the more small businesses we have in there, specifically in your area of work, more likely we're going to have a small business set aside, but then also you're in our system for every other procurement too.
Is there a training for Gavology? Like, is there like if someone is setting up their registration, are there training videos that they can watch?
Gavology is a specific Apex resource, so I'll
Oh, is
field
it?
that.
Okay, I thought that was the vendor portal for Dayton RTA. All right, never mind.
No, and I think the name might have been similar. So if our panelists want to talk about their vendor portal, please feel free. But Govology itself, there's a wealth of training videos on there. Please reach out to your Apex counselor to get access to them for free. As far as, classes on specific local registrations, I don't know. Govology is a nationwide reach. So they keep things very general, but the processes that they train on are tried and true. So that's why we recommend clients check them out. So that is what I will say about Gavology.
All right, I don't see any further questions for now, so we will go ahead and conclude this webinar. Now, keep in mind the recording will be available in about 24 hours on the Ohio Business Matchmaker website, as will the slides. If actually I have Monroe's slides, but Tara and Noah, if you could send me your slides, that would be great, and I'll make sure they get to the Matchmaker committee so that we can post those. Without further ado, thank you so much to everyone for attending today. Check out the Matchmaker website, ohiobusinessmatchmaker.com. I'll put that in there. Joey may have already done that one time. But again, the webinar trainings are free, and you just have to register for them. You don't have to attend the Matchmaker, although that's the ultimate goal, is for us to get you in front of a whole bunch of different federal agencies in state and local and city and county, and resource partners like Apex Accelerators will be there, as will the Small Business Development Centers, the Minority Business Assistance Centers, SBA, pardon me, economic community, a lot of resource partners. So if you can make the journey to Dayton, please consider it. It's the one time a year that we have where everyone is under one roof. So so I will go ahead and conclude for today. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.